Hey everyone, this is Razor Scum here. This is the first video of my playthrough of Day of the Tentacle, so let's go and get started on this. So we click New Game. Yes, we will start a brand new game. No, we do not want the developer's commentary. So, Day of the Tentacle. My gosh, me and this game go years back. This actually goes back to the time when, the 1990s, 1994 I believe. This was when sound cards were new and so were CD-ROM drives. Oh my gosh, I'm actually starting to gush a bit. Yes, so we ended up getting a sound card, which was a Sound Blaster AWE32. I've actually still got it here, and it came with a collection of LucasArts games that included Sam & Max Hit the Road, Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis, and Full Throttle. And it also included Day of the Tentacle. And, with that Maniac Mansion as well, which is a game within a game here. When I first got those games, Day of the Tentacle always stood out to me for its weird visuals and, the introduction sequence, of course. But then, I kind of drifted away from it for a little bit. I do remember stumbling across the Maniac Mansion game and thinking, wow, this is totally weird. This is, there's this game within a game, and it's on a computer and everything. And a few years later, I think it was about 2005, I started rediscovering all these old games, and I started opening them up in DOSBox and later Scum VM, and I started to really get into them. And Day of the Tentacle I've always enjoyed for its puzzle design, which I thought was really, really clever, really well done, and it doesn't use a lot of the moon logic that is so prevalent in adventure games, like especially the ones from Sierra and and the likes. All the puzzles they're perfectly logical if you use a cartoon idea of everyday logic. So yeah, I've always had a great fondness for this one and the original Maniac Mansion. I actually got into the original Maniac Mansion because I started playing through this one, and I do remember spending a whole holiday playing Maniac Mansion on a Pentium 90 laptop. Great fond memories. But yeah, comparing Day of the Tentacle and Maniac Mansion, it's kind of like, it's a bit like arguing, whether Empire Strikes Back is better than A New Hope or Star Wars for some of you people out there, or is if you're a fan of the Beatles, is the White Album better than Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band? They're both fantastic games, but they're very different flip sides of the same coin. Maniac Mansion has a lot more freedom in some ways, where you can actually come up with different endings, and you actually have leeway to improvise some solutions, whereas Day of the Tentacle, it's much more linear. But the trade-off is that there's greater payoffs in the narrative, whereas Maniac Mansion only had a very bare bones plot. So yeah, there's that. But this game was also like the first game where Tim Schafer of Grim Fandango fame, and later Psychonauts and the Broken Age games, this was his first game as a lead designer after working on Monkey Island and Monkey Island 2. So yeah, now we're actually at the start of the game here. So yeah, basically what you have is you have the three characters who are looking for the two tentacles to actually find out what Dr. Fred is up to, and stop him from killing them. So it, so I guess that's kind of an in joke. For those of you who have played the original Maniac Mansion, there is actually a dungeon, and inside the dungeon you go up to a door, and on the door there's actually a piece of writing that says "Secret Lab." Um, one one thing that you notice very quickly um, when playing this game and playing it back to back with Maniac Mansion is just how different the layout of the mansion is. So what you have here, like it's the game almost flaunts its own continuity errors. So what you have here is, you know, you have the entrance, and then you have the clock that's on the far side of the room, whereas in the original Maniac Mansion, there was the entrance, then there was a clock, and then there was an entry to the kitchen area, and then you would have the staircase, and then an entrance to the living room quarters. You know, and it's all more absurd because of this game's time travel mechanic, where each of the different time periods um, show this exact same layout, right? And you know, in some ways, I think what this game does is that it actually acknowledges this diversion of continuity by saying that Maniac Mansion itself was actually a it was actually a game adapted from, um, a incident that was a real incident in as far as Dave the Tentacle is concerned. So it's saying that it is Maniac Mansion itself that's actually deviating from, the continuity and not Day of the Tentacle. So I always thought that was actually pretty clever, um, as a way of thinking about it, you know. Um, so let's go and open up the grandfather clock. This is where the secret lab is. So it's kind of like, well, yeah, it's in a way like there's a few same but different things. So there is a secret passage in Maniac Mansion, but it's actually a secret doorway, and it's not a secret inside the grandfather clock. And this is the infamous Dr. Fred. Yeah, Bernard's gonna cause some nasty, nasty stuff. Naive human. Yeah, it's incredibly evil, isn't it? A lot. Yeah, so all these toilets are actually they're actually portal loos, and they flush themselves through time, I guess. It's just this is just one of the game's more surreal aspects. Um, and a great deal of the gameplay will be you like each of these characters will be going into different time periods by sheer accident, and all of the puzzles are basically geared towards actually getting these chronodons to um, work. They can get power back in times where either the character has no electricity available to them, or they need to bypass, you know, whatever security protocols are in place to be able to get access to electricity. And that's pretty much what you have to do with Bernard, with Hoagie and Laverne. Whereas Bernard is in the present, so he's kind of acting as the center of all this. Um, you know, the background effect in the scene seems a bit weird. Like in the original Scum version, it seems to play at a faster frame rate, whereas in this remastered version, it's very slow, like it's going at single frames per second. But yeah, so you lose a lot of the sense of motion when the characters are falling through time. I like this one where Toki is actually surfing his way through time. I actually always had a fondness for Hoagie because of his heavy metal attitude. Um, there is actually a sequence later on in the game where um, Hoagie gets to play a part in designing the American flag, and you can get him to suggest a number of heavy metal album covers, for the flag, such as like a chrome-plated eagle, or a babe wielding a machine gun. Sorry, but yeah, no. Heavy metal, dude. This is just one of the weirder aspects of the remaster here, because in the like, I'll see if I can just demonstrate this to you. If I can just switch over to the original version of the game. So, so one of the things that one of the changes that the remaster makes is that this whole the partigram system, which was a hallmark of the early LucasArts games, is gone, right? But the introduction still played out in full screen, right? So what ends up happening in this version is that that entire system is scrapped. So everything is constantly full screen. And that's when, as you saw there, when the cutscene ends, it suddenly zooms in. And it's just like, wow, Um, yeah, you know, it's actually a bit of a nitpick, I guess, but it's a feature, like, it's actually something that's worth noting, especially when this tries to slavishly recreate the original as much as possible. Even the overall art style is the same, and the voice acting is actually using the same recorded voice files, but they've been cleaned up a little bit. So, if you isolate the game's audio, right, you'll see that the original game, has a lot of hissing in the audio, whereas in this one it's all been cleaned up and remixed for high definition. So